everyone, to another episode of AIME's Grow and Get It. I'm Tom Ahles, president of Growth, and today I get the honor, Buffy. I didn't know the Buffy Beckwith. I have to ask about that one later. But Christine Beckwith, owner of 2020 Coaching, active member in our community, friends of many. I've ran into her with multiple organizations, vetted VA. I know she spoke on a lot of stages lately, which really, it takes a lot of courage to speak in front of people, but also to have the reputation for as long as you have been in this industry and really helping people be more successful, right? So I thought this would just be an amazing opportunity to, get 10 minutes. We're going to give our team something here to get them, a new tool or something that they can take to help them grow their business. So Christine, thank you for being on the show today.
Yes, it's so nice to be here. I love AIME and I love all the people that are here and work for AIME. And I want to congratulate you on the work you do, Tom, because it's very visible and I've seen it. In fact, I think I ran into you last year in Central Texas in the middle of summer. You dragged your wife there. Yes. So, and I dragged my spouse there too. So we get it. We're out here grinding, right?
That's it. So it's been, those are all the things though, honestly. I mean, we run into there, but if you notice, you run into all the winners at a lot of these events, right? I mean, they're the people that are, even right now when times are a little tougher, and people will say this really even with coaching, right? It's like, does it make sense to spend my time investing into different things? Like even going to the event, like a part of Vetted VA, which you were as well. So like, does it make sense to go there and build those communities? Does it make sense to I'm going to UWM Live here in a couple of weeks. I try to joke about bringing my wife along. Like I do. I even bring my daughter, I think, to one that we have coming up here because, to me, I like to network because I generally am like curious, like, what are you doing? Like, what's working? And I'm never somebody, that's, I'll say a lack of abundance mindset. I like hearing what other professionals are doing. I know for you coach not only some of the top broker owners in the country, but even top originators in the country. Really, it funnels down even people that aren't even in our industry. I know you do coaching on things. So, with the current economy and the state it is, it's a little different than what it was. I've heard, I'm a big UWM guy, so I was listening to I don't know if it was Anthony Frederick or Matt himself, but was talking about like we're no longer in the stage of quoting, right? For a while there, we could just quote and send out deals, and it really was easy. And I loved it. Don't get me wrong. Like it was great because everybody was forced to stay home. You're working all the time. You got more deals than you know what to do with. It's not that time anymore, right? Now, besides there being a lack of inventory, a little bit, people complaining about interest rates. The truth is, there's still a lot of business out there, and it's really understanding one, we're back into a sales cycle now. Like it takes effort, you have to do it, and it's not going to fall on your lap. Now, for you've been helping people really understand what's going on in the market and help them navigate that, correct?
Yeah. I mean, I want to address, you started talking and saying, networking and the importance of that. I'm going to tell you everything I've ever been in my lifetime as a successful person, as an originator, all the way up the ranks, was due to me getting myself out there every single time I go somewhere. I find new business, new opportunity, new people to exchange things with. And so I can't say enough that if people listening, and they didn't ask me to say this, but I've been going to the AIME events since their inception. I was just talking offline before this started, and I thought I came in the middle of like the AIME quest. I actually now know historically I was at the beginning. I hit every single event, and I credit the accounts I developed in the sales and the networking from attending those events. So I just want to start there. To answer your question, whoever said that is 100% right. I had the opportunity this year to open up the IMB year kickoff conference as their keynote for the MBA. And I was brought in on the topic of economics and the pivot. And that's the truth. We've been order takers for 3 years. So if we break this down, I'm going to try to do it really quickly. I'm going to tell you that even veterans who understand selling value and, looking at what the needs are of the consumer became an order taker. There was a tsunami of inbound business, and the rite of passage was, can you lower my rate? And when you get into that cycle, what begins to happen is the selling goes out the window and the serving is prevalent. And now you just create this assembly line, and really good originators figured this all out. Very few people say I missed that market because it was 3 years long too, by the way. But what it did is it made us lazy. So it's kind of like the apple work and hung them on the ground. We've been baking pies for a long time without climbing trees, you know? So what happens this year? Well, it becomes really difficult in November of 2021 when this first came up. You had the sticker shock on the LO level. The consumers didn't warm up for another 6 months. So you're fighting the tide of every distrusting, mistrusting client who thinks you're, switch and baiting them because the rates went up during the process. So everybody loses their pipeline end of 2021. Where the pivot begins last year is that you have to really be able to wrestle the rate conversation. By the way, only one person in all of America has the best interest rate today. I don't know who that person is. By the way, it was never me, but I always sold top numbers no matter where I was. I was always out of the market wherever I was selling my whole career. And that's not to denounce anybody. It's just everybody looks around and thinks the next guy's better. The truth is, you have to be able to understand that the client's asking, can you save me money? And if you can take that question to the can you save me money and interpret it and not get nervous and not run to your rate sheet, you can take the conversation to a place where you explain that price is a seesaw between cost and rate. You can also explain, you can also debunk the competition by starting to peel back, like, let me ask you, Mr. Smith, you got that interest rate quote. Did the loan originator that you spoke to get your pay stubs, get your W-2s, look at a triple merge credit report? How did they establish the rate quote, or did they just quote you? Because a lot of times you're going to beat your lazy competition in this field just by making the person holding that interest rate realize it's really not a real quote. And this isn't some slimy shtick I'm giving you. This is the God honest truth. People hold on to interest rate quotes that are just pie in the sky until all this stuff happens. So this year, you got to be the thorough guy. You got to be the guy that can take the rate question down the hole. Also, with your purchase business, I'll end on saying on that side, stop necessarily looking for pre-qualified buyers because we have an inventory issue. I think you should start marketing for people that want to sell their home, and don't just quickly pass those over. Don't pass those referrals over. Warm those clients up. Be the third party to the client that really makes them understand the high tide of equity that we have, and then hand that warmed up seller over to your realtor who's going to make a commission from you. Now you're bringing bread to an empty table, and get ready to get the deal on the other side that the person's going to buy.
Spot on. Boy, you did cover a lot of good nuggets there. I listen to these. It's like I listen to our broker to broker podcast. I was taking some notes on you. So it's 100%, good advice. That's good. That's good economics, right?
Yep.
For what's going on, you're right. Just fact checking, doing the job, asking those questions. Hey, is this just, we can go on, I don't want to use the company's name, but this company has really good interest rates, but horrible service. We'll let you just take it from there. You go on, and even consumers can see where those rates are, right? Doing the job of having a sales meeting it's like playing a game of tennis, right? It's not just here, I served you the ball and it's done, and I just sent you the quote back. It's now,
right.
How do we continue that conversation? How do we get into, okay, even for you, like I looked into 2020 coaching, like
Sure.
we came back and we had conversation back and
Yeah.
forth. Here's what I do, here's how it works. Okay, here's what I have. This is like, that to me gives a point of, okay, one, I like the person. I'm not going to do business with anybody I don't like. Yeah, I like you. So it's like, that's an easy.
Yeah. Is there a problem to be solved too? And it's conversational, and it's not selling when you get down to the tact of what is the pain of your client? What can I do to cure that? And that's truly what mortgage finance is,
That's it. Well, we like to keep these short and sweet. You gave a really good nugget. I'm going to ask for one more.
Sure.
All of the people that you're coaching or your team's coaching, what is the one thing you see right now that's a differentiator? What is the successful originators doing that those that want to be successful are not doing?
Yeah, I know you're asking for one. I'm going to give you two because they're combined. They go hand in hand. Number one, I really think that good mortgage pros right now are putting their oxygen mask on. They understand that this is kind of a negative environment. They turn the news on at night. The global economics is harsh. It's slower. So there's a nervousness with income. There's a lot going on under the hood, and it can be very stressful. So a lot of originators are exercising, eating better. They're like running with crowds. They're putting themselves in places. They're creating boundaries against negative information. They're shutting the news off. And so that's number one. Number two, they're going to work. They're not going around commiserating. They're protecting their boundaries. They are trying to prospect, I think, very concertedly. They understand they have to fish a longer game. They understand their bait's going to look a little bit different. They're not ready to work, and they're persistent. And they're getting back to basics. Pro athletes in the off season go to the gym, they run, they work out, they see their nutritionalist, and they get ready for the big rush that's coming. So that's what I'm doing, by the way. And we're still busy because I am outlasting, outplaying, and outwitting my competition. And that's really what it comes down to.
I love it. I love it. And I couldn't agree more. It really does. There's nothing that replaces hard work. And especially, and throw another name out there, but Eddie Perez even gave this speech talking about mental wellness, mental health, and mental toughness, right? It was like one of the things to me that's really resonated with me a lot, to where you're 100% correct. The people that are being successful right now are doing healthy activities, working hard.
Yeah, Eddie has all of his executives coaching here, and he himself and myself get on calls at least every other week that are scheduled into our schedules. And goats want to run with goats, people that want to elevate each other. So audit your circle. That's a tip I'll give you right now. Who's at your table right now? Because it's a little quieter than it was. There's a lot of people that have left the last year, and it's important you get the right circle this year.
I love it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you spending the time with us, giving us some knowledge. For those of you that are maybe you're looking for some coaching services, 2020 Vision is a partner of AIME. And you go onto your AIME profile, look under resources. You'll see it there. We have a discount code.
Yes.
Christine's always available too. Like if she's like me, I like my social media because I stay in touch with people. So I watch my instant messages. Same with her. So something you need help with, maybe you want to see is coaching for you. Is it not for you? Reach out to her and have that open and honest conversation. But thank you all for joining us for another week's episode of Grow and Get It. I hope you take this information and execute on it, because there are a lot of people winning right now. The winners sitting at Christine's table are winning. People sitting at the AIME table right now are winning too, because we're all working hard on your behalf. So you can catch our past episodes here on our YouTube page at AIME National every Monday, noon Eastern, and the Brokers Are Better group will have these posted. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Buffy, have a great time.
Thank you. It was once my last name, Buffton. There you have it. Bye, everyone. Thank you.